Hello there, and thanks for tuning in to crisiscompetence.com with me, Ulf Lidman. This is a daily video blog that I started in response to the coronavirus, helping people to cope and manage the crisis reactions that is a normal thing that follows in the footstep of a crisis like this. If you click on my channel, you can see all the videos that I have recorded, and just click on a topic that you find interesting, and hopefully you will find this helpful. You can also subscribe to the channel or click on LinkedIn and Facebook links that are in the description of this video so that you can follow. Today I want to talk about something that is very important to a lot of people, and that is their religious faith. And in times of crisis, that faith becomes very important. People need something to lean on. People are drawn to the source of peace that they have found in their lives. And I think this is very important. I want to share a principle that I have as a crisis counselor and crisis expert, and that is simply this: do not steal from a person what they already own, and do not add something to a person that they haven't asked for. So simple, and yet so hard to live by. What I mean with that is that if you run into a person, or if you are a person that have a faith that means a lot to you, this is your truth, this is something that you live by, this is what makes life worth living for you. I know a lot of people that are very passionate in their relationship with God, and I think that that is beautiful. And when people are in crisis, it's really important that we honor that. So if you hear somebody that talks about God, and if you hear somebody that talks about how their faith means something to them, your job as a crisis supporter and a crisis counselor is to help them to gain even more strength from what already works from them. And if you are not believing the same way as they do, it is never your job to try to take away from what they believe in. They have the right to their faith, no matter if it is a Christian faith, a Muslim faith, or whatever. We are not stealing somebody's faith from them in times of crisis. The other side of the coin with this principle is this: when people are vulnerable, when people are in crisis, they are also very receptive to what other people say. And I think it is extremely disrespectful to have a religious agenda with a person that is vulnerable. In other words, if a person has a need, meet that need, feed the hungry, be a friend, be a support, but don't use their vulnerability, but being some kind of a missionary. That is not ethical. Actually, I think that that is a form of abuse. If somebody comes to me when I am at a low point, and instead of joining me in the question, starts to giving me their answers, being it spiritual answers or answers that works for them in any other area of life, it is not the time. My mentor said something to me, and she said, if you have a faith, and that faith needs people to be weak and vulnerable in order to be receptive, that says a lot about that faith. It can't be worth a whole lot. What I'm saying is this: be respectful and don't push your faith on somebody else that are not asking for it. That is not a very Christian or religious thing to do. I think that we need to be close to people, but a vulnerable person is never and should never be subject to the great commandment or the agenda or whatever. Because you know what? God can reach people when they are not vulnerable. God does not push people down in order to get their attention. That's not love, that's abuse, and God is definitely not abusive. I'll talk to you tomorrow.